So welcome again, guys. We've got a minute and 50 seconds to go for this, the under-23 women Colombia game against Great Britain under-23 women. I've got here with me in the seat Ana Catalina Chica Perez and Chevrolet Uribe from Medellin, Colombia. How are you today, Cata?
Hola, muy bien.
Bien, gracias. And I guess for those of you listening back home, we're going to do a little bit of an English-Spanish combination commentary this time, just for those Colombians over there to be able to properly understand or give a bit of a Spanish spin to the commentary today. So you'll probably hear most of the English coming from me and then most of the Spanish coming from Cata.
Hello, un saludo especial para mi grupo La Barra Modo On, que sé que me están escuchando. Y un saludo a todo el mundo en Colombia, a los papás. Esperemos que este sea un partido muy divertido, que empecemos a afinar motores para todo lo que se viene esta semana y no sé cuántos días. Entonces, aquí a la expectativa. ¿Cuánto jalón to go there?
So thanks, babe. We've got 37 seconds to go in this countdown to the game beginning. So what do you think is going through the Colombian players' minds at the moment, right before the game starts?
No, I think en español. Yo creo que ellos están muy concentrados como empezar a mirar qué es lo que va a pasar, a pulir como posiciones, como a entrar en calor con lo que es el mundial. Y como siempre hemos dicho, esto es simplemente un juego. En las finales es donde todo importa. Un segundo sale. Listo, mucha suerte Colombia.
Yeah, exactly. As the game kicks off and the Colombians basically make a big win on the strike there, the buzzer has gone. So it looks to me like there's been a break. Maybe the Colombian under-23 women's team have broke down. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, it's against the Colombians. So I think they won that strike by a country mile because they may have gone off the other buzzer on the other court. So it'll be an advantage puck for the GB ladies as they bring it through the centre channel and the buzzer's gone again. So now it's a break against GB and an equal puck. So an interesting start to this game, Cata.
Ahora esperemos a ver cómo se define la pastilla compartida.
So an equal puck for those of you at home, the two teams set up behind the puck, and then basically when the buzzer goes, the teams pop down and go straight at the puck to try and gain advantage. There is a bit of a ref's time out at the moment as they're trying to sort out some issues on the side of the pool. So there's a small break in play right now, right at the start of this game, to give you a bit of situational awareness on these two teams. The under-23 Colombian women's team. Do you remember where this team came in the last underage World Championships, Cata?
Yeah, ellos son los actuales campeones del mundo. Este equipo viene a defenderse el título.
Yeah, so these ladies are actually the defending under-23 world champions, having won the last World Championships 2 years ago. And I believe the Great Britain team was also quite well placed. I'm just trying to hunt down those scores, and I'll get those for you in a second. But I'm expecting this game to be quite a tough, quite a close match.
De hecho, ellos tuvieron un partido amistoso en los premundiales y Colombia ganó 1-1, pero eso simplemente era un partido amistoso. En estos ya en competencias otro cuento, ya se empieza a mirar pues como qué equipo trae qué esquemas, qué tan entrenados están, qué tan entrenados de mente también están, que es muy importante. Para mí un mundial lo gana las personas y los equipos que tengan también la mente muy concentrada en su objetivo.
And as you can see there in the water, the Colombians love to put gold all over their things, and their fins are looking really nice with that gold sort of effect as they flash around in the water. It's a pretty even contest at the moment, with the play getting caught up on the far side of the pool away from the cameras, with the buzzer going off again. The refs have made a call. It's against Colombia for obstruction, so the GB girls will get an advantage puck. But absolutely no space, no real clear team dominating this early stage of the game at all, Cata.
No, se ha jugado prácticamente todo el tiempo en la mitad de la cancha y sí, con un partido muy homogéneo, mirando a ver quién va a empezar a marcar la diferencia. Colombia en este caso. También muy a la expectativa que en la otra cancha está jugando Australia-Colombia y va 0-0 también.
A nice drive out there on the right-hand defensive side by that Colombian player as they sort of zig and zag to try and get themselves some advantage as they drive it down the right-hand side. Unfortunately, the player's just outside of the camera at the moment, but basically it's a good even contest between the Colombians and the GB ladies right now as the play basically stagnates in that corner. You can see players coming up and down, taking one or two breaths and getting down to that puck quickly. Really no advantage being displayed by either team. It's right underneath the Colombian sub bench at the moment, so there's lots of subs going on, which should be an advantage for the Colombians as the GB ladies get more tired, having to compete against fresher players coming into the water as the Colombians drive it down the right-hand side. There's some good numbers being displayed on the bottom by both teams at the moment.
Sí, veo que todos están jugando como muy al tumulto, muy juntas. Yo creo que el equipo que encuentre nadar hacia el espacio, que encuentre el espacio, va a marcar posiblemente el primer gol del partido.
Okay, so the refs have called up another infringement. I'm just waiting to see whose advantage puck this is. I believe that it's against the Colombians and for the GB team. So the refs have definitely been calling in favour of the GB advantage so far, with all of the numbers on the bottom as the play goes from the left-hand defensive wall of the Colombians back into the middle as the GB ladies try and gain some advantage. The Colombians have managed to... the buzzer has gone again and a free arm is called against the Colombians again, and the GBs have got an advantage puck.
Sí, esperemos a ver cómo va a ser el cobro el equipo de Gran Bretaña. Esperemos cómo va a ser la posición de las jugadoras colombianas para defender este ataque tan cerca a la cancha de gol.
Both of these teams are displaying a very high level of fitness in the early stages of this game, with lots of numbers on the bottom as the Colombians do a good defensive effort and a nice drive out to the left-hand side wall as another call is made by the refs, with a call this time against the GB ladies for, I think it was a free arm. So the Colombian ladies will be happy with that. They'll be able to set up for an advantage puck their way this time, Cato.
Sí, esperemos que finalmente las colombianas puedan encontrar como el espacio y puedan nadar para definir mejor la jugada y salir como de ese pequeño tumulto, aglomeración de jugadoras que se está haciendo como hacia las paredes de la cancha.
So GB lady with a nice swim there to the left-hand side of the court, and another recycle swim again by GB lady, really stretching the Colombians to the edge of what they can cover. Another referee call, a chopping call against the Colombians. Not surprised because the GB ladies really did have a couple of big swims, which does tend to stretch the defence of any team when you're dictating the play and swimming that hard on the puck. So I'm not surprised the Colombian defenders were drawn into committing a foul there as the GB ladies bring the puck off the free and back into the centre. Looks like the Colombians will take this all the way to the other side of the court and try and recover some ground here, Kata.
Sí, están tratando como organizar su esquema, sus jugadoras y salir hacia los muros para defender exitosamente la pastilla. Y hasta el momento les ha funcionado bien, pero creo que ya es como hora de empezar a hacer como un poco más de ataque de parte del equipo colombiano, aunque la parte defensiva lo están haciendo muy bien.
So the GB ladies with another definitive move off the side wall. It looked like they were about to gain advantage, but the Colombian defenders just managed to control that puck and get a drive going straight out of defence with a good recycle move and another good, nice swim by the Colombian ladies. The GB defence are right on the edge of what they can handle with the girls streaming back to try and stop that momentum. They've managed to get it out to the side wall, which is basically where they want to keep that puck right now and let those subs happen right underneath their sub bench. Unfortunately, Peter Vanderwood has called up a foul there. We'll just wait and see which team it goes against. It's against the GB girls. And the Colombian ladies will get to set up for another advantage puck in their attacking quarter, Kata.
Sí, vemos que Colombia se acercó precisamente como lo que veníamos hablando, buscando el espacio, nadando y estamos muy cerca a un gol, parece que es gol, no, cobra en contra de Colombia desafortunadamente, pero estamos cerca, yo sé que lo vamos a hacer pronto.
So I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that that was a goal to Colombia there, with a really nice advantage puck. Sí, un gol.
Ah, sí fue gol, perdón, pensé que había cobrado falta. Gol, muy bien. 1-0 ganando Colombia.
So the Colombian girls putting in a really nice passage of play together there. Good advantage puck leading to a nice drive from the centre over to the left-hand side, and then essentially just a numbers on the bottom team goal against a very strong GB team, ending up in the first goal for this close game as the GBs win the kickoff and drive the puck over the right-hand side of the tray. Now, obviously, Kata, there's a lot of Colombians that are in Australia for the first time.
Sí, yo diría que la mayoría de ellos es su primera experiencia en Australia. Están muy contentos con la ciudad, tratado y totalmente enamorados de la piscina, lo rápida que es, lo bueno que es nadar en ella, como el manejo de pastilla que se puede hacer. Entonces esperemos que todo esto sea una ventaja para nosotros que nos gusta nadar, moviendo la pastilla, haciendo como ese tipo de juego.
Yeah, so it's excellent to see all of those Colombian people that have come so far across the world to compete in Hobart, which is probably, one of the places in the world that's the farthest away from their home country to get to. I know that a lot of them have spent sort of 30 or 40 hours of travel time getting to Hobart. Their first time in Australia, and obviously their first time in a place like Hobart. So it's awesome to see the Colombian contingent here in full strength and really enjoying what Hobart and Tasmania have to offer as they do another big drive through the centre channel, recycle the puck to a defender coming through. Unfortunately, she just got a little bit tricky there and managed to give the puck to a GB lady waiting with a big swim down the left-hand side wall. She's going to be hard to stop. We're not seeing her on the next vision camera, but the GB ladies are streaming into the defensive area of Colombia as they just managed to tie the play up in that attacking corner, Kata.
Sí, Colombia lograron llevar la pastilla hacia la esquina y ahora es una falta a favor de Colombia.
Yeah, so the Colombians get the advantage puck right in front of their sub area. The GB girls had a good drive there. They'd be pretty disappointed that they did something that led the refs to giving the advantage puck away from them. As the Colombians take the free puck and it goes back towards the wall, but it looks like they are getting a bit of a drive down the right-hand side with a nice underbody move into a player in the centre channel there. She stays down and continues that drive with 4 Colombian players down driving the puck straight down or straight from the right-hand side into the centre channel with a recycle. The GB ladies were up to the task of defending initially, and they've stayed down with a good second effort to get that puck out to the wall. Really well done by the GB ladies there to suck it up and to do the extra effort to make that puck safe and stop the momentum of the Colombian team coming up the tray, Kata.
Sí, vemos aquí ahora vamos a cobrar una falta a favor, estamos cerca de la cancha contraria, esperemos que se defina a nuestro favor esta pastilla.
So the Colombians get another advantage puck in their attacking third, and this time they're trying to take the puck straight through the middle of the GB team, and the GB managed to defend it out to the right-hand side. Well done to the GB team as they go for a big drive with a big, fast Dolphin kicker, driving that puck down the right-hand side, and the Colombians are sort of streaming back to get into good positions to defend. The momentum, unfortunately, at the moment is still with the GB drive as they were able to get numbers behind that puck there. And I think now the Colombians have just managed to stagnate that drive and get defenders behind the puck. But no, the GB are driving again at the tray and just manages to get cleared by the Colombians. And I tell you what, it's looking like a pretty close game at the moment.
Siempre ha sido como un juego muy reñido, como muy homogéneo contra los equipos de Inglaterra. En este caso se puede ver como es reflejo de eso.
So at the moment the play is basically being kept into that corner of of the goals. I'm not really seeing. Well, at the moment, the Colombians are trying to drive it out, but it was essentially just one player trying to swim that puck out. Luckily for the Colombians, they were able to kind of swim it from the left-hand side through the middle and then all the way over the right-hand side. So a little bit of get-out-of-jail free going on there from the GB ladies, not really getting into a good position to stop that swim. Maybe a little bit tired from all the effort it took to take that puck all the way down the court. The refs have called a advantage to the GB ladies right in front of the sub bench for the Colombian team. So they'll try and maximise the advantage of this free puck. It looks to me like it's being put right in the centre of the court, right in front of the tray of the Colombians, Kata.
Sí, es una zona muy peligrosa y esperemos a ver cómo se define. En este momento casi todos los equipos están bajo el agua y parece que Colombia está sacando la pastilla, algo pasa, referees llaman gol. Desafortunadamente es un gol en contra de Colombia.
So that was number 5 for the GB team. So well done to Becky Lord for putting that hard-fought puck into the goals for the GB team. And yeah, the referees have conferred, and that is a goal. It's 1-1 Colombia GB under 23 women's game, with a ref's timeout being called, I think, for the GB team, I believe, with just over 2 minutes to go in this first half. There is really no clear team at the moment dictating this game, Kata.
No, para el momento es un partido muy igual y el resultado final podría ser para cualquiera de los dos. Vamos a ver quién logra definirlo a favor, o de pronto podemos encontrar sorpresas y que sea un draw.
I tell you what, the GB ladies would be very happy to get that goal on the board, having had a lot of good passages of play, a lot of good drives and a lot of good numbers on the bottom, leading to some very close calls in that first half. They've finally got a goal and they're 1-1. So basically, from a mental point of view, that's the kind of thing that really picks a team up. It proves that they can match it with the other team. It gets them even. It essentially resets their, basically the score line to, 1-1 essentially equals 0-0. So right now this kickoff is almost like they're just starting the game again with only 2 minutes to go. So, there's nothing in it for these two teams at the moment as the puck gets driven out to the left-hand side wall. You can see how many numbers on the bottom both teams have and just how contested that puck is, Kata.
Sí, también vemos como el resultado del 1-1 al momento es como un gran reflejo de lo que se está viendo dentro del partido, como muy igual todo, para un lado, para el otro, ataca uno, ataca el otro, defiende, y mucha parte del juego se ha jugado como en la mitad de la cancha.
So the refs have called an advantage puck against the Colombian team there for a stick infringement. So the GB ladies will get an advantage puck over on the left-hand side of the court, or the left-hand side for the Colombian team, the right-hand side for the GB team. Didn't look too much like they managed to gain any sort of advantage out of that free puck up until this point. Actually, there's another nice little swim straight down the pool from the GB ladies happening right now. It's just managed to get pulled up by the Colombian ladies. I must take my hat off to the GB ladies too. I think a direct flight from London to Sydney is about 23 hours with British Airways, and if you want to go via somewhere like Singapore or Dubai, it takes even longer. So, my hat off to the GB contingent here in Hobart as well. I'm sure that they're all pretty jet-lagged when they turned up into Australia, and once you hit Australian soil, then you've got to find a connection flight and make your way down to Tasmania as well. So by the time you get down to sunny Hobart here in the fresh air, a lot of people get here pretty tired. So most of these teams have been hanging around for the last 4 or 5 days, doing practice games and getting ready for this competition. And as there was a nice drive there from the Colombian player, as half-time is called, the chief ref is signalling the teams are going to swap ends now. They're going to drink some water, and they're going to get some good quality feedback from their coaches. What do you think is going through the players' minds right now, Kata?
No sé, pues Realmente no sé.
Well, give me an example of what goes through your mind at halftime when you're playing.
No, creo que deben como encontrar lo que he venido diciendo durante el partido, que deben encontrar como más el espacio para definir mejor y salirse como de los muros, que es donde todos los equipos están tratando de defender.
Yeah, exactly. So for those of you English speakers out there, I guess what goes through the minds of the players at halftime is essentially it's a little bit of a relief that they get a bit of a rest, 3 minutes to be exact. They have to swap sides. In a close game like this, you know, especially if you've been attacking or whatever a lot, then you probably haven't had much of a chance to sub much. So you're going to get a lot of hydration into your head. And then pretty much just get ready for all those quality words that the coach, the captain, and the other senior players in the team might have to say about how to bring it home in the second half of the game, particularly in games like this one, the Colombian versus GB ladies under 23. It's so close that it could go either way. So neither of these two teams would be feeling like they've got the advantage at the moment, Kata.
Sí, es como los dos equipos tienen como un estilo de juego hasta parecido, diría yo, como niñas fuertes, niñas rápidas, defendiendo hacia los muros, atacando por el centro. Entonces como un estilo de juego veo es algo parecido, que hace que sea un partido muy parejo. Cualquiera de los dos podría ganar en este momento.
And I think too the two goals, the goal scored by the Colombians and the goal scored by the GB ladies, they're actually pretty similar in that they just came from some pretty good team drives, off the line out of the centre channel, recycle back into the centre channel in numbers, and basically team goals into the tray. So that was the way that the Colombian girls scored. That was also the way that the GB ladies scored. And in general play, it's looking like they're both playing a pretty similar game plan.
Just what I say in Spanish.
Oh, right. So that's actually what Kata just said in Spanish. My apologies for not understanding that, but at least for the English speakers out there, you can understand what Kata just said. But I can't pick which one of these teams is going to come out of this game victorious. And with 10 seconds to go, it's going to be really interesting to see which of these teams takes the advantage. Or if indeed there is an advantage that can be established, because it's looking pretty even right now as we go into the second half.
I'd be not surprised if we can actually have a draw in this game, because it's pretty similar.
Yeah, that's right. A draw would probably not surprise me either at this stage. It's interesting that strike. The Colombian lady won that strike by a good body length, but then the GB lady just picked her pocket, took the puck straight off her, and then swam straight back. Neither player really trying to change their line off the centre straight down the pool, as the GB ladies just get a little bit of advantage down their right-hand side. In they go on another nice angle as the Colombians stream over the play and try and defend that puck and stop any of that good team momentum that they've got going. For those of you watching the game at the moment, the reason why everyone looks like they're all left-handers is because the cameras are actually upside down. We've only just realised that, so we will attempt to rectify that at the end of the day today. But everyone that looks like a left-hander at the moment is actually playing with a right hand, and anyone that's playing that looks like a right-handed player is actually a left-hander. So my apologies for getting that confused in the earlier broadcasts, but I was actually convinced that there was a lot more left-handed players in this competition than I'd ever seen before in my life. So it kind of makes sense as the Colombians get a good drive down the pool on a good counter-attack after the GB ladies had really pressed hard as the refs call a chopping foul. We'll wait and see which team that goes against. But that was a nice drive by the Colombians there, Kata.
Sí, desafortunadamente nos lo pararon, pero era una descolgada chévere. Ojalá hubiera terminado en un gol. Vamos a ver si se logra hacer un gol de descolgada en este partido. Sería muy chévere ver algo así.
So that was actually an advantage puck to the Colombians, and they used that puck nicely to get a good flick over to that left-hand forward that was coming in over the top. They've got good possession again as they cruise over the left-hand side of the attacking 6-metre D and just try and run it in on a 45 in numbers. If they manage to keep the numbers down here, they might actually be able to recycle it and get it into the tray. The Colombians tend to be very good at staying down for second and third efforts. I can personally attest to just how good they are, having played a lot of hockey, as the puck goes into the tray.
Goal, 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 goal.
I wouldn't celebrate too much as the refs come up to confer, but we've got to wait until they actually tell us that it is a goal. They are conferring, and now you can celebrate, Kata.
Yay!
It looks like it's going to be number 11 for Colombia. So Manuela Calle just scored that very nice team goal from Colombia. I was just talking about their ability to stay down in numbers, and a lot of that comes from a lot of the apnea, holding the breath training that they do in Medellin and in Bogota and in Cali, over in their local places where they train in Colombia. Particularly in Medellin, they play in a 3-metre court. Sometimes they play 5 or 6 times a week over there all year round as we kick off again and the GB ladies win that strike. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Colombian ladies' fitness carries through this comp, because they generally are a very fit team. Isn't that right, Kata?
Sí, es un equipo que físicamente está muy entrenado y afortunadamente tienen como la opción, a diferencia de muchos otros países, de jugar 5 o 6 veces a la semana en piscina de 3 metros. Eso hace que pues como el fitness del equipo sea muy bueno, pero como lo hemos dicho siempre, también se necesita estar fit de la cabeza y de la mente, pero también sé que lo prepararon y sé que van a hacer un buen papel. Confío plenamente.
Yeah, so the GB ladies just had a really nice drive down the left-hand side, as I was talking about how fit the Colombian ladies were. So obviously I'm not saying that the GB ladies are not as fit as the Colombians. They obviously are, because this game is literally going down to the wire as they pepper right in front of the Colombian defensive tray, and the GB ladies just really trying hard to just make that last metre and a half onto the tray. The Colombian ladies doing an excellent effort of defending that push and taking it out to their right-hand defensive corner with a good rotation looking like it's occurring with the Colombians in that corner at the moment. It'd be interesting to see what the GB girls try and create. It's one of the harder places to create an attacking move in that corner, and also one of the easiest places to defend. So the refs have called a obstruction infringement against the GB ladies in their deep attack. So the Colombian girls will get a chance to have an advantage puck. They've also done a couple of really nice fast subs there to get some fresh players in as they try and bring that puck over and sort of look like they're bringing it over to their defensive or sub-bench side, which has worked very well as they find some space. A big curl behind herself, that Colombian player sort of back flicking it to hopefully her advantage. It did end up working, but it didn't look like there was someone there when she first threw the flick, but it worked well, and they've actually got a lot of momentum going through the centre channel at the moment as they stream down onto the defenders from the GB team. It'll be interesting to see if the GB ladies can sort of defend it. It looks like they have, because the Colombians have had a foul called against them. So well done, GB, for defending that big drive by the Colombians, Kata.
Sí, estuvo cerca. Desafortunadamente creo que cobraron una obstrucción por parte de una de las jugadoras colombianas, que hizo que todo el efecto, pues como todo el esfuerzo que estábamos haciendo por la mitad, lo detuvieran en una falta en contra de las colombianas.
So the GB ladies have taken their advantage puck and tried to create some kind of forward movement, but the Colombian ladies have just managed to get that puck and turn it into a really strong push forward as they're on the back wall as they recycle the puck around under pressure. Another turn. The Colombian lady stays down with support, trying to get it back into that centre channel in front of the tray where it's a higher percentage to take the puck in. But well done, GB, for getting that puck out of there and onto the side wall. Another free has been called. Ref saying chopping, and I believe that is against the GB team and for the Colombian team. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Colombian ladies can create off this free puck.
Sí, vemos que el equipo de GB se está defendiendo muy bien. Tiene una posición las jugadoras tienen como una posición del cuerpo muy fuerte que hace que difícil para las colombianas como nadar y como moverlas también, porque son pues de contextura más grande. Entonces eso creo que ha hecho como una diferencia a favor de GB.
So that was a good push by the Colombians, but a really good effort for the GB ladies to defend that drive. They got a free puck out of it, and they'll take the advantage puck, and I'm sure they'll be happy about that. Maybe getting a couple of fresh subs in as well as they drive over to the left-hand side and try and create some kind of momentum on that left-hand wall. A very hard place to create momentum from. Sometimes the teams will try and establish the puck in that place and sort of deceive the opposition into stacking the wall before they bring it out the other side. But it looks to me like the GB girls have done a really good effort in a big drive. One Colombian defender to beat. They've recycled the puck and they're trying to get it into that centre channel, but well done to that one Colombian defender that stayed down on that second and third effort to keep that puck out of the tray.
Sí, ahí vimos como el equipo colombiano, todas las jugadoras estaban muy concentradas en sus posiciones y lograron defender lo que era un gran ataque del equipo de GB, con jugadoras muy fuertes y rápidas por lo que he podido notar durante el juego.
So the refs have called another gloving infringement, and I think that's gone against Colombia. So the GB ladies will take an advantage puck in deep attack with the Colombian girls all getting in position and getting on the bottom early. Some of them coming down on the surface, which is an interesting place to attack the puck from, but it looks like it's worked in this instance with the Colombians getting free puck and getting a big swim out to the right-hand side in numbers, Kata.
Sí, logramos sacarla de nuestra portería y vamos directo por la mitad, como nos gusta hacerlo, con la compañía de las amiguitas, pero vemos que otra vez GB logra defenderlo y nos sacan de la mitad de nuestra zona de confort para marcar goles.
So the referees are having a bit of a ref's timeout. I believe there's a infringement being called against the Colombian ladies here. However, they are taking a little bit of time to discuss. And actually, no, the initial referee who called the infringement was Peter Vanderwood, but he signalled for the GB ladies. But then I believe the other referee was playing advantage for a GB infringement. So the Colombian ladies will have an advantage puck in the attacking area. A little bit of a tricky move there. The Colombian lady looked like she was going to bring it forward, but then dished it back. But I think unfortunately got called for infringement for having the puck behind the line of her shoulders and then driving her shoulder into the GB player. It's a bit of a judgment call, a bit of a hard one to call either way, but in that case, I tend to agree with the GB advantage puck cutter.
Sí, desafortunadamente la curaron como una obstrucción. Creo que se demoró un poquito más en soltar la pastilla, por eso el referee llamó falta en contra. Pero esperemos a ver cómo se define esta jugada. Otra vez buscando el centro, acompañándonos y esperemos que se defina con un.
So the Colombians doing a good effort right now, just maintaining possession and keeping those numbers around the park with good recycles from the surface back down onto the bottom and a nice centre channel control. The GB ladies starting to break down that run now. It's interesting, a lot of those runs that go through the centre channel are basically won and lost by the numbers on the bottom, Kata.
Sí, hay como muchas jugadoras debajo, pero las jugadoras de GB están logrando romper esa aglomeración de jugadoras colombianas, defendiéndonos a los lados y sacándonos de la mitad.
So that puck is in deep defence for the GB ladies in their right-hand corner as they come down in numbers to try and drive that puck out right underneath their sub-bench. There's a couple of players from Colombia on the surface now. One of them doesn't have a mask on. You can see how vicious the contest is over there. I think one of the GB ladies, number 3, has been called for a dangerous flick and she's swimming to the sub-bench. Number 3 is actually Ellie Shelley, so she's going to spend 2 minutes in the sub-bench for a dangerous flick, and the Colombians are going to basically spend the next 2 minutes with 6 against 5 against GB, Kata.
Sí, creo que le chutó en la cara a una de las colombianas y miremos a ver cómo va a ser el cobro Colombia.
It's interesting when you go one player down. Sometimes a team can really suffer from only having 5, and other times a team can actually play much better because they just sort of realise they have to put in the extra effort, and things like second and third efforts can happen a lot more often across the board with a team that's got one player down, Kata.
Sí, algunas veces los equipos logran controlar y como manejar la situación con solo 5 jugadores o hasta 4.
You can see now the GB ladies are actually quite smartly keeping the puck right underneath their sub-bench. So basically, even though they've got 5 players in the water, from there they can pretty much do a max effort and then hit the surface inside that sub-bench and get a fresh player straight back into the water, which is essentially the easiest place in the pool to defend from, Kata.
Sí, aquí estamos viendo que las colombianas están atacando de nuevo. Esperemos que se defina con un gol. Vamos, gol. Gol de Colombia. Esperemos que dice el referee. Creo que sí lo llamaron gol. Es un gol de la jugadora número, ¿qué dijeron? ¿6 o 7?
7, yo creo.
Camila Ospina.
So Camila Ospina putting that goal in for the Colombians on a really good drive, surprisingly created from right underneath the sub-bench.
No, es jugadora número 12, Isabel Higuita.
My apologies there. Apparently the officials are saying that goal was Isabel Higuita. So well done, Isabel, in scoring a goal that was surprisingly created right underneath the sub-bench of the GB ladies in probably one of the hardest places to counter-attack from. But I guess the numerical advantage the Colombian ladies had was probably a big factor in that goal going in, Kata.
Creo que el trabajo en equipo, todas abajo, acompañándose, los pases atrás y mi amiga lo recupera y vuelve y lo tira al centro. Creo que a las colombianas les está funcionando muy bien. Creo que no debería decir todos estos secretos por acá, pero creo que la mitad de la gente no entiende.
Some of the more astute of you that are watching the surface camera at the moment would realise that the Colombians in the pool are actually doing a little bit of up and down, like short breath hold stuff, which I know the Colombian under-23 women's coach likes to do to get the lungs open of the under-23 girls. Most other countries would literally just be holding onto the sidewall and sucking oxygen as much as they can, but it's an interesting technique to watch the Colombians doing that, Kata.
I think more than get her lungs open is more like relax. Just breathe and relax, do them a little bit of bubbles, and actually it works for us pretty well. Yeah,
that's right. It stops people from hyperventilating. It makes you take big, deep, slow breaths. And it's a little bit of genius being displayed there by Pipe Diaz in his coaching role with these under-23 Colombian ladies who are definitely on top with in this game with I think we've got, I'm just trying to see how much time we've got remaining in this game. We've got 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in this game, with Colombia leading 3-1 against the GB under-23s. They must be pretty confident they're going to take this game out, Kata.
Sí, yo espero que este sea a favor de Colombia, aunque incluso vemos que siguen atacando, siguen nadando, siguen acompañándose, siguen haciendo lo de ellas y lo están haciendo muy bien, tanto que se ha marcado una diferencia.
Some good drives coming out of defence by the Colombian teams, but a good counter-attack by the GB girls there. They've recycled it, but there's only Colombian numbers on the bottom as they drive out the side or the back wall. The buzzer's gone, and a 2-on-1 is being called by one of the referees without... Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a penalty 2-on-1. So for those of you at home, that referee must have seen an infringement that occurred on that GB player as she was swimming at the goals. And the referee is basically saying there that without that infringement occurring, that would have been a certain goal. So now it's going to be 2 GB players against 1 Colombian player for a penalty goal. The buzzer has gone. It looks like the puck has gone in the tray. Yes, GB. The GB ladies have managed to pull it back 2-3. Colombia leading by 1 goal with.
Y todavía tenemos 56 segundos del partido. En hockey nada se sabe hasta que toquen el pito final.
I'm just trying to see how much time is left in the game here.
54 segundos.
Oh yeah, 54 seconds left in the game with a real chance now for the Great British team to to get back into this game. I think we've got a timeout called by the GB team. 39 seconds to go in that, and then 54 seconds to go in this game. So it's going to be very interesting to see if these GB ladies can get one more goal back in what has been a very tight, down-to-the-wire game, Kata.
Sí, hemos visto un partido muy emocionante, muy apretado, pero al momento Colombia va ganando, todavía quedan 17 segundos. Desafortunadamente veo que en la otra cancha Colombia va perdiendo 3-0. Pero entonces esperemos que por este lado Colombia gane su segundo partido del día. Esta mañana ganaron las sub-19 a Canadá y los niños sub-19 perdieron contra Inglaterra.
So off we go, 50 seconds to go. The GB strike gets out there first and just basically goes for it with none of her team around her. But here comes her team and there's a big drive down the right-hand side. The Colombians managed to reef that puck off the GB team, and they basically just sort of tie that contest up in the centre channel there with no clear advantage coming to either player as the GB ladies get the possession back and just rock and roll in the centre channel. Now the puck's back with the Colombians as they drive it back to the wall. 20 seconds to go, and the Colombian Maria on the left-hand side tries to just drive that puck down the left-hand wall. Numbers on the bottom is key here with the buzzer going. It's going to be interesting to see the call. The refs have called a
falta a favor, creo que de Colombia.
Yeah, so a foul for Colombia or no, against Colombia. With very little time remaining on the clock, so the Great British ladies are going to have to pull out something special here to draw this game. With 4 seconds to go, it looks like it's going to be a close-fought win to Colombia, Kata.
Sí, parece ser que creo que ya pitaron. Sí, tiempo. Muy bien, Colombia. Muy bien, muy bien. Un primer paso para este torneo. Vamos a ser bicampeonas.
Yeah, so congratulations, Colombia, on a really hard-fought, close game against the under-23 GB ladies there. I'd like to congratulate both teams on what was a very, very nice display of high-level, close, competitive underwater hockey. And I tell you what, I didn't know which team was going to win the whole time there, Kata.
Sí, fue un partido muy igual. Pero también es el primer partido del día donde todo el mundo está todavía no tan cansado. Ya de pronto más adelante durante el torneo se podrá empezar a ver cuando la gente empieza a estar como más cansada, otra clase de juego.
Yeah, so congratulations to both teams as they cheer each other in the traditional style and then pass each other and give each other a handshake and a slap on the back or a slap on the head and say thank you very much for what was in this case an excellent display of very close hockey. We're going to cut to the pool deck in just a sec just to see if we can get a chat with one or two of these players to get their perspectives on the game. But to recap from my point of view, both teams played very similar styles of hockey today. A lot of big swims, a lot of numbers on the bottom, a lot of straight lines or straight-ish lines with curls, drives, curl, drive again, 45s, forward kind of triangle type swimming, passing the puck back when they got tagged by the opposition players. And I take my hat off to both of these teams that it was a real display, a real pleasure to watch the game today, Kata.
Entonces, terminamos por hoy. Are we finished?
Yeah, I guess that's it from us, and we'll wait to see what happens on the pool deck.
Declan, can you see that on court 2? We got incoming. All right, we come live to the pool deck for court 2 here, as I think it's the GB coach who's coming down to join me in a hard-fought game there. With GB getting up, going down 3-2 in that one. So joining on the couch today is
Bella Sanderson, assistant coach.
Bella, thanks for coming across. Bella, that looked like a tough game in there.
It always is against Colombia. That's maybe the 4th game we've had against them in 4 world age groups. It's always a close game. we're up, they're up, we're up, they're up. There's always a winner, always a loser. I'm sure we may end up playing them again in this competition when it gets to the serious stage.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting thing. It's a double round robin for the under-19 girls for this tournament. How are the girls coping with the extra games?
We're under 23s.
There you go. I've been running around on the pool deck much too much for this tournament to be paying that much attention. So what are you telling the girls there to get them revved up against Colombia?
We always, each game, have 3 keywords. It's very important that they always bring their fight to every game, keep them motivated, keep them positive, and that was the best I've seen them play so far over the last couple of days, so I'm very happy.
And how are you finding the facility in the city of Hobart?
Yeah, I think it's a really good setup. I think the commentary and being able to watch the games for family and friends at home is excellent this year, so I'm very impressed.
Oh, and do you have a message for all the GB fans out there?
Keep watching, keep supporting. We need all your love out here. Keep posting and messaging the girls. We all appreciate your support. Thank you.
And you're getting a big thumbs up from all you girls there. So look, unlucky on this one, but best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you very much.
That's the GB assistant coach there. I think we've got the Colombian coach coming over. If I can see where he's run away to. I'm looking around on the pool deck. Where is Pipe? No, I think we'll probably cut the stream there, guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget the donations are live.